Hi there. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ethan. For those of you who do know me, I'm Ethan. Today, as you probably have inferred, and you probably have gathered from reading the title of the video, I'm going to speak about thinking before you speak. I guess this kind of came about as a, consequence, for lack of a better word, of having a couple of experiences in the past week in which I or someone else that I know has maybe let something slip or just gone on for too long, and as a result has affected the relationships of those around them or themselves. Either way, if you're trying to improve upon yourself, if you're trying to contribute to society as opposed to dragging it down or further regressing it, contributing to its regression, so to speak, just think before you speak. A lot of times we hear things that maybe weren't meant for our ears, and it can be interesting. It can be interesting stuff to want to share, but I suppose the lesson there is also just to be mindful of who you're sharing certain items of information with, because sure, there are moments in which maybe you have your partner or your best friend and you want to share the things you hear with them. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. As I've learned from my own experiences, sometimes you hear things and the best thing to do is to just bite your tongue and not share it with anyone. Because a lot of information can be hurtful or damning if spread, and especially if spread to the wrong people, who will then spread it even further to even more wrong people. So sometimes it's best to just bite your tongue, despite your wants or desires to spread said information. Even if it's hurtful, sometimes it's maybe best to just keep it to yourself. Or if it's something hurtful regarding a person you care about, intervene. If you hear it, just intervene in the moment, whoever is talking about it, and just stop them and be like, hey, cut it out, But sometimes there can be instances where spreading information does more harm than good. And not even just that, but also thinking before you speak in general, because I hate to sound particularly pretentious or holier than thou or like I know everything. I don't, right? But there are a lot of times where people may open their mouths and words just kind of vomit out in a way that would maybe shine a less than appealing light on your intellect. Sometimes it's better to just really think for a second about, hey, how is this going to sound when it leaves my mouth? And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's entertaining. You're definitely providing a service in that way if you are one of those people, I suppose. Not to sound rude, I really hope I'm not coming across as rude for those of you who do suffer from that affliction, but man, there are some questions, some statements that come out of some of my friends' mouths even sometimes where I just have to sit there and ponder, wow, do you just live like that? No offense, of course. And don't get me wrong, it's happened to me too. There have been instances where I have let out a thought or two that I maybe should have stopped to think about before letting fly, because it just made me look stupid. Right? But that's also just on me. And I should have, in those moments, stopped and thought about what I was going to say before I said it. You know? It's just the simplest thing to do. It doesn't really require that much effort. It's just something that everyone probably should do in order to make existing a little bit less painful in certain circumstances, I suppose. And then also, if you got a PhD in Yaponomics, that too. Maybe just sometimes it's fun. I won't lie. There are moments where I do have a lot of fun listening to someone yap. I like yappers, but as someone who's not particularly much of a yapper myself, which is probably ironic hearing that coming from me while I'm making this YouTube video, and have been making these YouTube videos, I can be a yapper, but naturally I'm not particularly much of one, right? And so, with that being said, there are days where sometimes I'm just not in the mood to listen to someone yap. And I guess that comes down less to thinking before you speak and more to just having a bit of social awareness. But I'll probably get to that in a different video. But either way, on those days, it's just like, I don't want to listen to you yap. Just think about the words you want to use and try to use them concisely. Try to boil down what you're saying into a couple of well thought out sentences instead of just going on for 10 straight minutes like I'm listening to a TED Talk. But then again, like I said, it's like, I guess, kind of ironic considering I make these videos in which I do kind of just, yap, so to speak. But I digress. It really does just boil down to a little bit of more social awareness in those instances. I'd still say just think before you speak, though. In any case, it can save a whole lot of trouble for yourself and everyone else around you as well in the long run. Just a little forethought. But yeah, that's probably it for today. Just quick one, light one, just something light. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave them in the comment section down below. Fun fact. And if you are feeling any particular way, whether negative or positive, happy, sad, anxious, depressed, angry, feel free to reach out to me. If you need someone to listen to you, if you just want to talk for a little bit, I'll always get back to you 24/7, 365 through any of the various social media links in the description below, because you are not alone. You're never alone. And I hope you really do truly feel that in your core, in this area. That's a reference to a Will Smith movie. Anyone who can guess it will get a cookie. At some point, probably. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. So until next time, peace.